Morning guys, welcome back to another episode. In this rebound phase, we are just going on 5 weeks into this rebound. Going well so far. Body weight is, what was it this morning? 125.8 kilo, which is about just gone up to 280 pounds. So really, you know, we're only about 10 kilo up from stage weight. This hood always annoys me because it's not level. But about 5 kilo of that is probably carbs and water, like Luke was saying on my last check-in last week. So we're really only like 5 to 6 kilo up from stage weight, which is good. So we don't really want to be putting on any more weight than this. We don't really want to be pushing any more food than this. But today we are going to go through a high day, which is the whole point of this video, to take you through a high day. So this is the first high day that's been put in after basically just doing 4 weeks of base food and one off-plan meal a week. I haven't really been attacking my off-plan meals as I normally do. Reason I say that is I haven't had Five Guys since show day. So I haven't had Five Guys in 4 weeks, which is not like me. Normally I'm at Five Guys every week. But I want to keep condition in a good place. I want to keep body weight in a steady incline instead of gaining like 2 kilo after a Five Guys. Which normally happens with me and Five Guys, which is good in a sense of off-season when training is at full pelt, you know, and we're utilising it for legs and things like that and leg training. But for right now, I just feel personally it's unnecessary for me to do that. So I've kind of been taking a back foot on off-plan meals, and like this week I had a Nando's, literally just chicken, fries, and a few sides. Weight didn't move at all. Or I had kokoro the other week, which is like a Japanese, so basically just chicken and rice and sushi. And next week I'm going for it's called Maggie Fu, probably one of the best Chinese restaurants there is on the Wirral or Liverpool. And it's very clean. It's not like your greasy Chinese. It's very, very clean. Like when you get a takeaway from there, that there's no grease on the bag or anything, so it's basically just chicken and rice, which is perfect, especially when doing this high day today. I want to keep my off-plan meal on Tuesday next week fairly clean, so that's kind of like a perfect meal to have. What I'm going to do is just go through my base food, just to give you a rundown of what my base food looks like right now. If I can find it. There we go. So training day. So training day, we are on 343 protein, 686 gram of carbs and 66 fat. Rest day is 269 grams of protein, 568 grams of carbs, 64 grams of fat. That's the first time I've read those macros, as Luke has been doing my food for me. So I've literally just been executing what my food is. And then in terms of today's high day, probably what you're all waiting for, 240 grams of protein, 975 grams of carbs and 77 grams of fat across 6 meals, which is basically my training day food, just increased. So nothing crazy. And that's how we're going to be running today. So a lot of these meals, as you might have seen on other videos and my high days for prep, the typical jasmine rice, whey, peanut butter and jam meals are obviously my staple, with chicken instead of whey sometimes. We've got a Cocoa Pops meal. We've got meal 1, which is like bacon medallion, sourdough, cream of rice, and that is pretty much it across the board. So I'm actually looking forward to today, or have been looking forward to today, because it feels like I'm back in prep with Luke giving me a high day, and having my nutrition on here and filming as well. Obviously, the last time I filmed a high day would have been like one day out from show, so it's quite nice to have this day today to feel like I'm back in prep, which is cool. So that is what we're going to be running right now. We boxed off cardio this morning. Cardio is still at 15 minutes. 15 minutes 6 times a day. Steps are about 8,000. Well, they are 8,000. Been doing my ab work as well every single morning. So I do my leg raises. I do vacuums as well. That's every single morning. So pretty minimal work, but if you account for it every single day, which I'm going to be doing for the whole of the off season, all through the off season, all through prep, all through my next prep, it all clubs together to be quite a lot of work at the end of the day. So I only do 3 sets of leg raises, supersetted with 3 sets of vacuums. Vacuums I'm holding for 20 seconds each round, 3 times, and then leg raises I'll do 15 leg raises, lying leg raises. It's very, very much controlled. I always get a pump after doing these, and it's kind of just my morning routine. It's very easy to stick to that every day. You know, if I club together, you know, like a 5 movement circuit, which took me like half an hour, it would be a bit difficult to stay on top of every day. But it just means that I can fit these leg raises in and the vacuums in, no matter what happens in the morning, no matter if I'm rushing, it doesn't really matter. So I jump straight off the bike, do my abs, and then that's me done. So like I said, cardio 6 days a week, no cardio on leg day. Quite nice that we've kept cardio in as well. After prep, I always like that kind of morning routine of getting on the bike after coffee and doing a little spin, just keeping that, obviously, heart in a good place, fitness in a good place, endurance. It's just going to help with the food as well. And yeah, I will do like a full video on like how the rebound's going, what the plan is for the off season, when the off season's starting, the plans for next year, things like that. I will do a full video on that where I'll just ramble to you, probably for like half an hour. But today is just going to be more so food focused. So we're going to get into it. It is currently 8 a.m. on the dot. And I'm going to go through my first meal. I haven't actually got my tripod or microphone with me, so it's going to be just this kind of distance, me talking you through meal 1. But to give you a reference of meal 1, we've got 1 whole egg, 2 bacon medallions, which I'm going to do chicken instead, because I haven't got any bacon medallions and the shops don't open until 10. 3 slices of sourdough, 100 grams of creamy rice, and 30 grams of strawberry jam. So that is meal 1. I'm going to put the jam on the 2 slices of toast, have 1 other slice of toast with my chicken and egg, and then have my creamy rice on its own. I haven't actually been running creamy rice, to be honest. I don't actually enjoy creamy rice, but for today I'm going to run it because it's at 100 grams and I want to be as spot on as possible. I've literally just been doing oats instead of my creamy rice, or I've actually been using these ready-made American style pancake dry mixes where you literally just add water, and the macros on them are actually pretty spot on. It's like 0.3 grams of fat, and then all your carbs, whatever my carbs. So 50 gram of creamy rice is like 60 gram of carbs. So I just pour out the pancake mix to make up 60 gram of carbs, which gives me, like I said, 0.2 to 0.3 grams of fat, which is perfect. Minimal protein, so it's literally just carbohydrates, which equals what the creamy rice would be. But I'm going to just keep it creamy rice today, which I have got. So we'll just do 100 grams of that. And then, yeah, we'll see you for meal 1. We'll take you through all of today's meals. Yeah, show you what this high day is going to be. Meal 1 going down about 8:30. We've got 3 slices of sourdough. So if I show you this without knocking it over. 3 slices of sourdough, 70 grams of chicken, because I did how many bacon medallions, which is like 18 grams of protein, so which makes 70 grams of chicken cooked. 1 whole egg, obviously got the HP sauce on there, and then 2 slices of sourdough with raspberry jam, 30 grams of raspberry jam, and then we got 100 grams of cream of rice with some blueberries on there for some micronutrients. And that is it. Meal 1 going down. I also take Lantus as well, insulin with this meal, as I always do with my first meal of the day, every day. So that goes down with meal 1. And yeah, that kicks us off for today. And then we'll be back to show you meal number 2. So back for meal number 2. Just been to do some work and meet one of my mates for a coffee. Had to come back as I felt a bit of a hypo coming on. I was starting to get cold sweats, so I had to come back. It's about 11:30, 12:15. If you haven't seen on my Instagram, I would have posted a couple of days ago the Live mag, so Liverpool's fitness magazine, released last week, and I'm actually one of the writers in the magazine, which is pretty cool, along with a lot of other like fitness guys, food writers, different kind of personalities based around Liverpool and the Wirral area. So I'm one of the writers in there now for bodybuilding, which is pretty cool. So it's actually been really good in terms of just sitting down and writing about what I love and having a passion for this, and being able to kind of just write about whatever I want. My mind on things, just write about, like I said, my passion and just how I see bodybuilding and what bodybuilding means to me. I think my first one was about kind of the basics and beginners, like, yeah, bodybuilding for beginners, basically. I think that was the title. So I've just been writing my next blog for that, basically. So you'll have to wait and see, or download the magazine, the next release when it comes out. I don't know when the release dates are, but the first one is obviously out, which came out last week. So meal number 2, this is what you're here for. Full day of eating. So meal number 2, we have got cereal of choice. As you've seen before, Cocoa Pops is the cereal of choice. 200 grams of Cocoa Pops. So I split that into 2 and have 100 grams in each. And then we've got, let me just grab it. Whey, obviously. So we got ESN, the 30 grams of whey. We are going to use the vanilla ice cream flavor designer whey. That you can get on the website, code Henry for 20% off your shop and your cart. This week we've actually got, obviously, Black Friday's coming up, so you'll be able to get a whole range of different discounts. Make sure to stay on top of my Instagram to see what discounts you can get off certain products, because there are sections for different discount variables based on what products they are. But it will be ranging from probably like 30, 35%, 40% to 20, 25%, 10%, that kind of thing. But my code every single day can always get 20% off. So make sure you're using that code Henry again. But yeah, this is going to be meal number 2. Very, very simple meal, easy meal to get down. Remember, this is based off my training day, so this would typically be my post-workout meal. The pre-workout meal that I normally have is my sweet rice. That's coming later in the day. I still have 2 of those meals today, and they're big portions, so I'm looking forward to that. Lots of peanut butter going down today, but this is just a simple meal. And after this, we're going to get a food chopping, so I might show you the food chop. And I'm also going to grab my tripod and my microphone, so I can actually do some proper YouTube videos instead of this front camera stuff, which is easy, but I kind of want to give you a full range, give you proper insight. So meal 2 going down. I'm going to eat this, and we'll see if either a food shop or meal 3. Food shop is done, so we're going to go through it. This is a typical, pretty typical shop, to be honest, of essential top-ups for the next 3 days, about 3 days. So whole eggs, 12. We got some frozen blueberries, which will go on my cream rice in the morning, which you saw this morning. Splendor, so this is what goes into my sweet rice meal. I put it on the rice when it comes out. So probably the best peanut butter that I've come across, the pip and nut smooth peanut butter. This is the best one because you can actually drizzle it, instead of if you were to buy any other peanut butter, you have to it comes out more of a spread, you can't drizzle it on. So that is a game changer. Oats, which go in my like oat pancakes in the morning, I sometimes do. So I sometimes split between doing cream rice or oat pancakes. Almond milk, the no sugar one, goes in my cereal. About 400 grams of almond milk goes in my cereal. The 5% quarter pounders, beef burgers. So sometimes I will take out my chicken, because I'm having quite a lot of chicken at the moment. So sometimes if I want, I'll have burgers instead of chicken and rice, basically. So I'll take out the chicken, put the burgers in, take some of the fat out of my one of my meals with peanut butter in, and just have the burgers, and then I buy some potatoes as well, which will obviously make up for I'll take the rice out of the meal, put the potatoes in, basically homemade burger and chips, which is nice. Zero ketchup. And then we've got our chicken for the next couple of days. So about 2 kilo lasts probably 2 or 3 days. Bacon medallions in for breakfast, that meal 1 that we had chicken instead. And then the creme de la creme of strawberry jam, which is the Bon Marie strawberry conserve. Best one. I picked up raspberry jam about 2 weeks ago, or a week ago. So I've been having to have that instead. Strawberry's just the way forward. Phage Greek yogurt goes on my last meal on my rest day. So I only have that twice a week, because I'm only having 2 rest days. And then Monsters, 1 a day. They didn't have any white Monsters, all sold out, so I had to get the next best, which is the Rosa. That's my favourite. And that's like a little full day of eating. Doesn't even look like there's much there, but that kind of, obviously we've got rice, I've already got sourdough, Cocoa Pots we've got, and that's pretty much it. So a very simple food plan, to be honest. What else? Pink salt. Get yourself one of these kind of dispensers. It's a 0.5 dispenser, so every like push is 0.5. I just put my pink salt in there. Really, really easy. What else do we have? I mean, that's pretty much it, guys. Yeah. No rice cakes in the plan. I've got the rice on at the moment, so that's got 9 minutes left. So in about 9 minutes, I'll show you meal number 3, because I'll be having that. So we'll just get this in, all put away in the fridge, and that's us done. Time for meal number 3, which is going to go in now, which is our rice, whey, jam, peanut butter. So, got the rice on. How do you do your rice, Henry? How do you cook your rice? So, rice cooker is essential. And what I do, so today I worked it out, added all my rice together, all my rice portions together, because there's 2 with 200 grams, 1 with 175 grams, and 1 with 100 grams. So I basically just added all my rice together for 4 meals, which is the next 4 meals. And added it to the rice cooker, and then I'll just divide the rice cooker in 4. So that's 4 portions. So I'm going to tell you now, if I say that's the rice for the next 4 meals. Altogether, 700 grams dry weight, divided into 4 portions, and that's our rice. So that is literally what I'm going to do now. So in terms of the rice cooker, how much water do you want to use? I double it, so 1400 grams of water, and then I add on 70 grams for some reason. That's just how I've done it, how I worked it out. So I add 70 grams onto that, and that's the water intake for the rice. So that's how much water I put into the rice cooker, and then cook it. It comes out spot on. And then I do actually turn the rice cooker off once it's cooked, and then I do microwave it again because it doesn't actually come out as hot as I would like. So I do have to microwave it again. So we are going to divide this, which is a lot of rice, into 4 portions. So there's our first portion of rice. What I want to do with this now is have my salt portion, so 1.5 grams of salt, which is 3 clicks, and then the Splenda. So the Splenda goes in, which is our sweetener. I probably do about a tablespoon. Obviously don't measure it out. Probably do about a tablespoon. I do put some on top as well. And then you've obviously got to mix that in. Mix that through, and then put it in the microwave for about 1.5 minutes. So this is making sure that all the rice is sweet. Obviously gets our salt in there as well. Got to make sure that's all mixed in. That is not mixing in, but it will once microwaves. So that goes back in there. Back in the microwave. Make sure it's piping hot. About 2 minutes, and I'll get my whey. We're going to use Stracciatella from ESN, of course. So what I like to do, we've only got 30 grams of whey going in this meal, so always weigh your whey out. Don't just go by what the scoop, spot on per 30 grams. Shows how many times I've done this. And then we're going to make a whey paste. So as you all probably know by now, or if you make your own, if it's 30 grams of whey, we do just under 30 grams of water, so about 28. Got to be precise with this stuff. 29. So rice is done. We're going to put the strawberry jam on, fresh strawberry jam, 40 grams. So what I like to do is I do half of the rice is like jam and whey, and then half the rice is peanut butter. This is how I like to do it, guys. We're all going to have our different ways. So it's got to be bang on 40. And then the secret to your peanut butter, if it comes in a jar, is store it upside down. So all the oil now will be going to the top, whereas the peanut butter will mix nicely with the oil if you hold it upside down and store it like that. So obviously when it comes to weighing it out, we want to tear the scale. So 450, we need 30. So 420. And then drizzle that on. Like I said at the food shop, this is the best one because you can drizzle it. So nice decent portion of peanut butter on this today, which is good. Normally I only have 20 grams, so having 30 is like a treat. This is what you should make these high days a treat. You know, it is. You make your food as nice as possible and you enjoy every meal, you're going to digest it better. That's what I find anyway, because you're going to create more saliva, essentially, if you enjoy the meal, which again is going to help with better digestion. That's what I've always thought. So instead of having like plain chicken and rice 6 times a day, find out what you like, find out what you enjoy food-wise, and make that. Obviously, can't have burgers for every meal, but you know what I mean. You might have noticed as well, in the last food shop there wasn't any veg. We got veg in the freezer. I do have my greens in the morning, so that is obviously in there. But we have peas and sweet corn and things. So I just put this whey in between the jam. There's a way of doing this. OCD came from prep, obviously, so now it has to be the same, otherwise it tastes different. The stracciatella is the best one to do. Obviously it's like a creamy vanilla with dark chocolate pieces. If you ever had the ice cream, you'll know what I'm talking about. We'll just finish the last bit off. I'm hungry today. Digestion is on fire. And that is meal 3. If you can see that. And I do just sprinkle a bit of sweetener on top. Not loads, but just enough to make it nice. So that's meal 3. I'm going to go and eat this, guys, and then we'll catch you for meal number 4. Meal 4 going down, guys. Just got back from half an hour of steps. Gives me about 2,000 to 3,000 left to do, which is only about 20 or 30 minutes. So really pretty simple meal. Pretty much the same as last time, just different protein source. 100 grams chicken, raw weight, so 80 grams cooked, which is hardly anything, a few mouthfuls. And then we got the same amount of rice as last time, so another quarter of that of the rice cooker, with 25 grams of jam and 15 grams of peanut butter, 1.5 grams pink salt, and that is us. We are going to the parents' house in about half an hour because it is Sunday, and typically majority of Sundays my nan goes up to my parents' house for tea, so I typically go up there whenever she's up there, just to say hi to everyone, have a meal. Obviously I always take my own food, obviously. In the off season sometimes I try what they're having as well, so we'll see what they're having, but usually I rob some veg for my chicken, which I'll do today. But I'm having the same meal that I just showed you for meal 5, so I won't show you that. And then when we come back, it'll be nearly time for last meal, and then I'll show you that before we go to bed. That's pretty much it, guys. Nearly a full day done. Digestion's been really good today. Very, very hungry, which is good as well. So a good solid day. But I'm going to eat this, set off, and then we'll see you back here for meal 6. Right, guys, so we're back from being at the parents' house. Seen Nan, dropped Nan off back at home, and it is 9 o'clock. So we're in for our last meal of the day, which is going to be a meal you've already seen, but I will take you through it. So I just weighed out, well, got my last portion of jasmine rice here. Need to put some water in this rice, in this whey. But yeah, just boxed off steps as well, so they're all done. Only on 8,000 a day at the moment, so about 28, 30 grams of whey, and then we're going to do, what was it, 40 grams of jam. So we've got the strawberry jam again. Strawberry jam. So half strawberry. 40 now. And then the other half, obviously peanut butter. Peanut butter. 40 grams of that. And then pepper nut, of course, essential. Was it 30 grams? It is not level. 388, 358. Sorry, 358 grams. That's just what the scale says when I take it off. But 30 grams of peanut butter, which is quite a lot. I feel like I might be actually weighing in lighter tomorrow morning. I don't know. You know, you just get that feeling that you get on prep as well, when you know you're going to have like a low weigh-in. I've got that feeling. What was it? 358. Bosh. But yeah, you know that feeling where you get on prep and you know you're going to have a low weigh-in, especially if you weigh yourself every day. You kind of understand or get to know how you feel the night before low weigh-ins, or in the off season when you know you're going to be like 0.5 to a kilo up in weight. You know what that feeling's going to be, and you can kind of tell. Oh god, peanut butter got stuck in my mouth. And then we got 30 grams of stroopwafel, which I haven't had in about must be about 7 or 8 months now. It's just come back in stock, so really happy about that. But this is like the consistency you want with your whey paste. Not too liquidy, not too thick, just like an icing. And then, like I said before, put it on the jam side. So we got like sweet on one side, and then the peanut butter on the other side, which is just, if you haven't tried it, peanut butter or almond butter as well works really well with rice. Give it a go. Have it with your chicken as well. So I'll finish that off, and then we do a little bit of sweetener. But this, guys, will be our last meal of today, and that is a full 6 meals. Just over 900 gram of carbs today. Gone in very, very well, like high days always do. We'll see what body weight's like tomorrow morning. Tomorrow is shoulders and core. So continue following along to see the rest of the training that I'm going to go through. And we've got like 4 more weeks in this rebound. I will do another video based solely on why I'm doing a rebound, what entails during the rebound, when the off season is going to start, how long the off season is going to be for. So that's all to come. But the off season starts in January, like a week, maybe like a week or 2 before January. The off season will start. No, actually, it will be like, yeah, like it'll probably be January, to be honest. That's when the off season will kickstart. Obviously, get Christmas out of the way. But the plan is from now until then is kind of just to really very slowly increase body weight. We're not looking to increase body weight at all, really. You know, base food isn't changing massively. We're just like trialing things that we're going to do in the off season coming up, which is why we're doing this high day today, is to see what happens with body weight. Because what we want to do is do like, we know that 2 high days a week work well with me. It worked well in the past, but we didn't run kind of like, we basically ran a high day and an off-plan meal on the same day. We did that twice a week. But we're probably, Luke was saying yesterday on his check-in feedback that he kind of wants to do like a high day of base food on one day, and then a high day with an off-plan meal on one day. So we're keeping things fairly pulled back a bit in terms of how quickly we want to push weight up. We're not looking this off season to gain loads of weight. That is not the plan. Obviously last time I got up to like 315 pounds, which, you know, I really do think at some stage in your bodybuilding career, if you're gearing up for open categories, you will have to push the limits in terms of that and get a bit soft, and gain that body fat and gain that weight and really push it for a year or 18 months, which we did. And that put me in a position where I was able to compete this year in the open category and hold myself on stage, and do pretty well in my first year of open. So this time around, we want to keep condition tight. I'm not going to go into too much detail because I want to save that for another video, but we want to keep condition tight, and we don't really want to blow up in terms of adding loads of body fat on. That's the plan anyway. Obviously, Luke has his plan of what he wants me to do. I will just follow what the plan is. I trust him wholeheartedly, and whatever he says goes, and I'm more than happy to do whatever it takes, do whatever he says. If you ask me to eat 20,000 calories a day, I will try, you know. So it is what it is. Whatever the plan is, I do, and just execute accordingly. And you know, that's what we've done for the last 5 years. He's just set the plan, I've executed, job done. I make sure I work 110% every single day, and you know, throw everything into this that I can. All my energy goes into this. You know, I don't really put much more energy into anything else except for obviously the business side of things. Obviously, I have to put energy into that to make money, but everything else goes into bodybuilding, and everything's revolved around the goal, and has been for the last 10 years. You know, so we just continue to do that, continue to tick boxes, continue to do the work, and we'll see where we get to. But that's full 6 meals today, guys. Appreciate you watching. Hopefully you took something from this. If it was even what kind of meals I'm using to use in a high day, I think the basis of it is you got to use foods that digest well, that you enjoy. What I spoke about with, you know, getting those taste buds going, looking forward to the meal, I think is really important, from a digestion point of view. Like, I can't wait to eat this meal, and that's just going to help with all around digestion. It's going to make it easier to eat the meal. You know, off season does not have to be boring. Off season does not have to be plain chicken and rice 6 times a day. It really doesn't. And the people who are doing that are the ones who aren't making the big steps in progression because they can't eat the food. You know, food is our biggest limiting factor in the off season. If you can't eat the food, you're not going to grow. Simple as that. And you've got to be able to choose foods that you enjoy, mix it up, have variety across the board. You know, a lot of these meals are the same, but I enjoy them. I think that's the main factor. Again, if you enjoy plain chicken and rice every day, then do it. But you've got to do what works for you. Don't try and copy someone else. Don't try and mimic someone else's diet plan, because it's probably not going to be best for you. Have your own approach, know what works, trial. You know, you'll make errors along the way, but that's the whole process. But yeah, I'm going to eat this and chill out for half an hour and go to bed because I'm pretty tired. And yeah, thank you guys, and we will see you on the next video.